but I give great head scratches. You know, that spot you can't reach, I can reach it for you. I'm just saying, carry on.
The dog cannot understand anybody except for Zach, unfortunately.
My friend's trying to say that she wants to give you pets, but I don't know if you're really down for that.
No touching.
Yeah, okay, Zuri, he says no touchy.
Nobody in this group cares about me, not even a random wolf. It's fine. I can't ever get any physical affection anywhere. And then Zuri just kind of like walks a couple steps away just to like whine a little bit. That's all.
I love Zuri. Okay, what does it actually look like as you speak to animals from another person's perspective?
That's a good question.
Do you speak the animal's language?
No, because it's telepathic, so I think... but I think what you would visually see is like the facial expressions that... it would be like you would see... like as he's talking in his head, you know, his like eyebrows and like face sort of moving as his face is sort of representing what he's saying in his head, but nobody's hearing it. And then, you know, the wolf is probably the same way, like, you know, he's like growling and snarling and stuff, but I hear the words.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. So when you what did you ask him specifically?
If we could make peace, generally speaking, and maybe he could tell us something and then we'd let him go.
Yeah, he doesn't seem angry at the idea of not fighting. But he does just kind of, he takes a few steps back, kind of like his head goes low. His ears don't go back or anything like that. He's not in a attacking kind of way, but he kind of just growls, hungry. And that is where we're going to go to commercial.
Hey dudes, Dr. Turtle here. It's time to surf over to this week's spotlight. Tidebreaker, developed by Nick Butler, is a cinematic action tabletop RPG system that lets you step into the role of hyper-competent heroes and explore worlds that your group creates together from the ground up. A classless but extremely classy game, Tidebreaker uses dramatic mechanics like hope and doom as resources that players can use to create their ideal action-packed experience. The game is super flexible and can be tailored the way that you would like to tailor it. Tidebreaker is specifically geared towards collaborative and creative world building and sharing your own inventions within the community. If you are looking for a fun way to live out your anime, action, movie fantasy, this is the game for you. So surf on over to TidebreakerRPG.com. Catch a wave, dudes.
Hi, it's me, Rose, your friendly neighborhood guide. I'm here to tell you about a fun new piece of news. This podcast is now part of the Audible Podcast Affiliate Program. Audible is an amazing way to find access to tons of great books. If you think about it, audiobooks were really the original podcasts. In the ancient days of the 90s and the early 2000s, before Spotify and Stitcher and Apple Podcasts, there were cassette tapes of Lord of the Rings and CDs of Stephen King novels. In modern times, we have to get a bit more creative with our audiobooks, and that's why there's Audible. There are also so many ways to support queer writers and writers of color by downloading their books. Here is a few fantasy or sci-fi suggestions that we'd like to offer. The Priority of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Considered by some to be the best epic fantasy book since Game of Thrones. Hazel and Gray by Nick Stone, which is an African-American retelling of Hansel and Gretel, the New York Times bestseller of Blood and Bone by Nora Roberts, and Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, a story about a lesbian space necromancer. Hazel and Gray and The Priority of the Orange Tree are both Audible exclusives. You can get a free 1-month Audible trial by visiting www.audibletrial.com/a-game-called-quest. That trial includes 1 token to get a free audiobook. So if any of those sound interesting to you, now's your chance. Get the joy of listening to great fantasy stories without the frustration of having to wait for the next podcast episode. Try Audible. And now back to the game. But he kind of just growls, hungry.
I think maybe I can help you with that. My bird is out hunting for us right now, and maybe she'll bring you back a snack if you cooperate with us.
He sits.
That's a good boy. I mean, thank you.
Not a boy. Not a good boy.
Not a good boy. Okay. I'll try to stop patronizing you. It's just where we come from, we like to patronize animals.
He doesn't say anything, but you see a bit of confusion furrow in his eyebrows. No one else can see it because they can't speak with it. Like, it's a very human expression, but only you see it. Mm-hmm. His eyebrows furrow when you say the word patronize.
Oh, sorry. Where I come from, we like to treat all wolves and doggies like good boys, but we understand you not good boy. You strong bad boy.
Wait, I just want to clarify. Are we hearing any of these words, or are we just seeing the expressions right now?
Can we hear him?
It just looks like he's thinking, good boy. Please, I think that, go ahead and make a roll to not accidentally say that out loud.
Oh, yeah.
No, you just accidentally say that out loud. I just decided.
Oh, I rolled a 5. So.
Okay, excellent. So everybody hears you say that whole thing about being a bad boy.
Wait a second. Did I say that out loud? Oh, crap. And I turn and look at everybody.
Oh! This, during this time, since, Gray has been trying to remember exactly how he put together the different illusions that he had done just a little earlier, because he kind of did it in the heat of the moment. And so he's like thinking back on everything he looked at in the book, and he remembers one of his favorite lines from the rule book, and he goes, "Oh right, maybe a dog confused about whether he is a good boy." And he throws his arm out like Spider-Man, and you just see an awkward, like, single thread tendril from his hand come out. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'd like to bamboozle the wolf, because there's specifically a line in the rule book that I loved. That is, for this movie.
You've got to be kidding me.
You make a nearby creature mildly confused about a specific subject until you leave the area. For example, you could make a merchant confused about the value of their goods, a guard confused about who is authorized to pass, or a dog confused about whether he is a good boy.
Oh my god!
And I feel like if I pass up this opportunity, I would not be doing this game justice.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you so much.
I mean, I think we definitely, like, see a little, like, if this was a movie, we would see a thought bubble floating by the side of your head that just flips the pages of this book and highlights that one line.
So, yeah, I'd like to make this wolf confused about whether he is, in fact, a good boy.
Do you have to roll or anything?
I don't know. Nope.
Okay, make sure you mark off those points.
Mm-hmm.
He sits down, the wolf, And then the spider web just like kind of connects with his face and then kind of dissolves like into the ether, the magic ether, basically. And for a second, when the spiderweb disappears, his eyes have crossed. And then when he looks back and Zach, you just hear, "Good boy, bad boy." And this giant Goliath of a creature stands up from where it was sitting and sits down with every thought. Good boy. He sits down, stands up, bad boy. And this continues.
Zuri's just looking over from like the distance, glaring, but also like breathing kind of heavy because she's so jealous right now that she can't be close. Like, and she's just seeing this puppy like go up and down, and she's just like freaking out because everything in her wants to pet this animal and she can't. So she's just glaring at the situation, basically.
I mean, you are very dexterous. You're in a very dexterous body. You could probably sneak a pet.
But he said no touch. I can't.
Gray, what did you do? He's just saying good boy, bad boy.
Oh, yeah. So, I remembered how to do the thing, and Gray shows the Spider-Man arm motion again. So now he's trying,
Go ahead and make a roll to not accidentally do it again.
Oh boy. We're rolling real well today. I got a 5.
All right. What is that confused about?
So we were just figuring out what was happening. You were confused about who you were talking to. You're not sure why you were telling Gray he was a good boy.
God, watch where you point your hand. Gray, why are you a good boy? I mean, no, why is Zuri a bad boy? No, what is going on? Why are you messing with my head?
Zuri gasped. Offended, like, excuse me, did you just say that I'm a bad boy?
I don't know why I told the wolf that he is... No, what? Why am I so confused? Gray, why are you a wolf? I mean, why are you... Oh, God.
Oh, oops.
I think when this confusion kind of dissolves, you turn and the wolf is gone.
We did it!
Oh, see, it got it. Oh, got away.
Unfortunately, you did miss the opportunity to ask questions to it. Because you decided to bamboozle it instead.
I'm so sorry.
Brett, you owe me an adventure point. Do you hear me? You better give me one of your adventure points. I will fight you.
Look, it's not my fault. That's how the rule book is written.
You did succeed in navigating the obstacle of an angry wolf. And therefore, you get the reward of 2 adventure points each.
Hooray.
But do make sure that you marked off both of those expenditures, Brett / Yusolka.
Oh, of course.
And the 4 of you continue back. If you remember, you were making your way to a hollowed out tree that Zori had somehow managed to luckily and expertly find as this massive hulking tree, this wide ancient trunk that stretches up. The leaves are high enough that, you can barely even see them. They're so high up in the sky. And the branches stretch out in all directions. And it just happens to be unoccupied. It must have been somebody's home. When you go inside, you can see there are, some etchings in the walls and that kind of thing. But it's this large, kind of lovely little cozy spot. So I think let's get a montage of our newly crowned adventurers, newly born adventurers, trying to get settled in to sleep in a tree. Everybody give me at least 1 or 2 things that your character either is super comfortable with or struggles with, something along